Good evening, friends. This is Great Line Grow 7. I am still waiting on Wolf 10 Media. So hopefully the wolf will show up soon. But in the meantime, I want to talk a little bit about the remakes and sequels coming up and that we've seen in the past. It's kind of no secret that Disney's kind of lost its storytelling originality. And I feel like we're seeing more of that with the live action remakes. I mean, I want you to look at the entrance scene of Prince Ali in the original Aladdin. How much energy there was in that one scene versus the live action. You know, Genie was everywhere. He was getting people pumped. He was hyping up Prince Ali like there was no tomorrow. And in the live action movie, not so much. It just came across as boring. Like, oh, here's the prince. Uh, and I don't blame the actors on this one. I feel like maybe there are some scenes that just do not make sense in live action. Now, in Beauty and the Beast, it did feel like the time Belle and the Beast spent together was shortened quite a bit. In the original movie, it felt like she was with him for at least 2 or 3 months versus a few days in the live action film. And I'm trying to think what else. There's also The Lion King, which I was warned by several people the day it was released not to watch it. Just because it looked horrible. And I saw where some artists online were able to fix it visually. But, you know, and we are going to get more remakes. There, thanks, and some revised villain origins. I am very afraid to see what they're going to do to Ursula. I don't know what they're going to do with Jafar, but I don't even want to talk about Cruella. It I don't know what to call her. Or maybe discount Harley Quinn or wannabe Joker. Probably more wannabe Joker. Could you introduce me as Cruella? Yeah, you did. Yeah, they stole from DC. I'm sorry. It's just that bad. Now, we do have some upcoming holiday remakes, well, holiday film remakes, and they did release one this month. Now, the original film was a Disney Channel original movie, and it hasn't really been shown that much on probably last decade. Under wraps, I was immediately turned off by the trailer because it felt like a lifeless remake. Even some of the special effects in the trailer, well, in the promotion for it, looked worse than the original movie. I mean, I also noticed how one of the characters got another character's lines. I mean, now, like, it was just on the Disney Channel, no, but I don't know. My expectations are really low for it. I don't even know if they're going to do anything with it beyond that. I actually was surprised that they didn't try to do a sequel or some sort of spinoff with the School for Wayward Magic that they were promoting last year. Now I know that it's supposed to be based off a book series, so I can't really comment on it. Though the effects, well, the special effects did look like they needed a little bit more work, and the story kind of reminded me of a cross between Halloweentown and Sky High. Now, whether that was the case or not, I don't know. No, I kind of skipped that movie. But now that I think about it, Disney has tried to do their own magical school like Harry Potter, and they obviously they have that Owl House, which is canceled, and well, it will get a partial season 3. But apparently that was announced soon after the series started. And to be fair, the premise itself was very similar to another series that they premiered around the same time, Amphibia. And of the two, Amphibia to me looked better. And now they also have apparently had this other show on Disney Plus called The Worst Witch. And to be fair, that one is also based on off an old book series. And they actually had a movie in the late 80s, early 90s. I actually remember watching it when I was little, around Halloween time. It it had Tim Curry in it, and while I'm not going to comment too much on the Disney Plus series, it does look like that one has been popular because although it just premiered this month on the Disney Channel, it has already had 3 seasons. Now, this brings us to Home Alone, which I will admit quite I'm not really a Home Alone fan. I actually prefer the second movie over the first. And you know and I don't really see it too much as a remake. I mean, It looks more like Home Alone 5. Wait, was there an actual Home Alone 5? I'm not sure. I kind of dropped off after Macaulay Culkin left the role in the franchise. But I do know that they did get another kid to play the child that gets left. And I think that I know that did go on for at least one or two more movies. So honestly, it looked kind of bad to me. It just did not look interesting. And I'm not really sure what they were thinking on that one. Now, two Halloween franchises that they are going to be getting a sequel decades later is Hocus Pocus, and there is already a book out. I've not read the book, but I do know some of the basics. Max's sister, not Max's sister, but Max's daughter, is the main protagonist. No problem there. But the Sanderson sisters are back, and we find out a little bit more about their history, and apparently they had a fourth sister who was the white sheet of the family. Um, Now the one I am probably most worried about is their Nightmare Before Christmas sequel. This has been one of my favorite movies ever since I was little. This has been a staple in my not only my movie library, but as part of my Halloween routine. If I don't watch Nightmare at least one time in October, something is wrong. And you know, I you know, I am aware that Disney has been trying to remake and all their popular properties, but there are some things I don't think that need a sequel or need to be touched. I mean, and this is someone who grew up during the time where Disney was bad to do direct to DVD sequels on everything. And some of them were what I would consider hits, and some of them I would consider misses. I think the one they've done the best job with would probably have been the Aladdin Trilogy. Now, obviously, the first Aladdin was in theaters, and the two sequels, The Return of Jafar and King of Thieves, were direct to VHS tape. And honestly, I don't think they were that bad. I mean, they had a consistent design with the original movie and quality. Something that I kind of noticed with a few sequels that Disney done that with, particularly my Myro's return on Atlantis, and I later found out the reason behind that one, but I'll talk about that in a minute. And with Tarzan and Jane, the spinoff of Tarzan. I mean, and that, well, I'd say spoilers, but as long as these movies have been out, and it's kind of, I don't know if you would call it spoiler at this point, but if the reason I say that they were consistent in even in story was that in Return of Jafar, obviously Jafar and Iago had gotten trapped in a genie lamp designed specifically for Jafar and thrown into the desert, hopefully never to be seen again. Unfortunately, well, you have I think it was a disreputable merchant who found it or stole it, and of course, the guy wants his three wishes. And Jafar, being Jafar, is determined to make his own goals, goals a reality. And he still wants Agrabah, as well as get his revenge on Aladdin because obviously Aladdin was the reason then he got stuck in the lamp. And Iago abandons Jafar, which and ends up becoming a friend of Aladdin, although he does help Aladdin, so it does help because make it well. So Aladdin does trust him a little bit. It does take a lot more for him to get the trust of everyone else. And once again with this, Disney had those wonderful songs, and they actually match the characters. And continuing on with that story, I mean, Iago, you know, he is a bit of a trickster in this one because he is playing both sides to a point. He acts like he's helping Aladdin and Jasmine, but he's also working with Jafar out of fear. And a lot of things do happen. Um, when Iago is reintroduced to everyone else, obviously they are mad at Aladdin, specifically Jasmine, and oh yeah, and Genie does come back. In fact, saying, I've already seen the world. I want to be my friends now. And from there, well, it takes a song to kind of, Iago telling Jasmine and to forget about him, but in but his words are deceptive. You know, he's saying to forget about Aladdin and and that he did this and did this and did this. And suddenly Jasmine kind of is reminded, okay, yeah, he's this wasn't great, but you know, he is my special someone. You know, he is still a great guy. So what if he made this questionable decision? I mean, so far everything looks okay, so maybe Yago's okay, and yeah, and then Aladdin can well, Iago convinces Aladdin to take the Sultan out for a trip on the flying carpet, and and this and this was to give Jafar time to get in the palace and and take over essentially. Disarm Genie, and Genie had been weakened because he no longer after being freed. And that was something that kind of continued on to the TV series. But that's another story. You know, Jasmine gets hidden away, and Jafar replaces Jasmine in a kind of free art, well, kind of like Art Azunia does in Final Fantasy 15, and and she basically tells the guards, Aladdin killed my father. Well, and from and he almost gets executed. And you somehow Genie does get free, and he does save him just in time. And then we get to the big battle, and you know they realize in order to get rid of Jafar once and for all, they have to destroy the lamp. Excuse me. And you know it's not an easy thing. Once again, we get back to the a room full of lava, and Iago's you know this is when Iago's true colors kind of show, and he gets injured, but he still manages to destroy Jafar's lamp. And for a second there, we think Iago dies, and then, well, we're reminded, genies can't kill. You said genies can't kill. Like, and he's like, you'll be surprised what you can live through. So, so an initial, so it does sound like the story ends there, and in truth, it probably could have. So then we get the third movie, King of Thieves. And, this one took place after the TV show. Well, which, Aladdin and Jasmine were going everywhere, having all these adventures, learning about each other, facing other problems, facing other sorcerers and sorceresses. If I remember right, at one point, Jasmine even got turned into a rat. Yeah, quick reminder, be careful what you wish for, especially in front of a possibly magic mirror. But in the final movie, they're getting ready for a wedding. This special scepter that gives the user one wish, and only one wish, is offered as a wedding present. And the King of Thieves has decided that he wants it in order to find an artifact. And and the original day of the wedding, everything gets thrown into chaos because the other thief, well, I think one of the other thieves messes up, and you have this battle, and even in a wedding dress, Jasmine does kick butt, and we also find out that Aladdin's father, who at this point we all assume he's an orphan. Um, I think in the special features and even in the soundtrack, there is a song. Well, at one point, his mother was going to be in the first movie, particularly the song "Proud of Your Boy," and for reasons unknown, they decided to cut it, as well as her role in the movie. And you know, initially Aladdin thinks that his father is being held prisoner, only to find out his father is actually the King of Thieves. And Aladdin really annoys his second in command. I think this movie is the one that may go off the rails at times, but you know, eventually he does convince his dad to come to the wedding. I don't remember all the details, but for the most part, it does. It is the happy ending. Oh, and they make a cameo in the Hercules TV series. Now, in the case of Atlantis: Lost Empire, which is one of my favorite movies, it's very underrated. It it did get a sequel, but I found out that the sequel was actually not originally intended to be a movie sequel. It was supposed to be a TV series. So the reason it's the animation and art is not quite at the same quality is this. It was originally intended for TV. It was going to be a TV series, but due to its poor box office performance, they decided, well, we got something we can do with this. Um, let's just package it into a movie. Um, we're not going to make any more episodes, so who cares? Or and I'm kind of sad sad that happened because there were some interesting plot points and adventures that they could have gone on, and still no wolf. Now, um, now I will admit I did enjoy the Tarzan movie, but I also enjoyed the TV series as well, and it did make a lot of references to the the other books in the Tarzan series. And there and as well as other books by the author. Actually, I think the author even made an appearance in the series. Um, you know, and that was very similar to what happened with Hans Christian Andersen in the Little Mermaid TV series. He does make an appearance, and Triton even plugged in a note. You can read more books by Hans Christian Andersen at your local library. And to be fair, I actually was able to find a volume of Hans Christian Andersen's stories at Ollie's. Yeah, actually, actually, I also found a bunch of a, a collection of Shakespeare, um, here, fairy, well, Brothers Grimm fairy tales, um, a lot of different books. I even think I found H.P. Lovecraft. So, and I will admit, I am kind of surprised. They have not. Well, initially Tim Burton did not want a sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas, and there. Admittedly, there has been a prequel and a sequel, but they were not movies. They were video games. Um, there was a Game Boy Advance game, which you know, it, which I'll talk a little bit more about both when we actually watch the movie. And I'm hoping Wolfie will come soon. But in the Game Boy Advance game, we find out that um Sally is Dr. Finkelstein's latest invention or creation. And we also are introduced to Oogie Boogie. Now, I know he's in the main film as our main antagonist, but we find out a little bit more about him in the prequel. Apparently, he's from a holiday called Bug Day, which eventually became forgotten. So, as a result, he decides to steal Halloween. He kind of got, well, because his holiday disappeared, figured, why not? This is where he moved to. So, so, Jack defeats him, kind of seals him away, sort of. And so we kind of get the setup for the actual Nightmare Before Christmas movie. And then you have the sequel, which admittedly is probably going to be a lot better than what Disney's going to come up with. In which the leaders from other holidays are disappearing. It's up to Jack to find them. Because after what happened on Christmas, he's the number one suspect. Hmm. If you hold on.
And should I say hi?
I'll let you hear. Hmm. Hmm.
What's this? What's this? There's colors everywhere. What's this? What's this? There's white everywhere. What's this? What's this?
Well, I'm glad you're already singing. I didn't
What's
even
this?
forewarn you. I am bad to start singing on some of these songs in this movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Ah, it's funny. I'm still downloading the movie as we speak, or at least you got something else to provide.
well, the movie's been out so long that I know almost everyone has a copy, and if you don't, you can get it at Walmart for either $10 or $7.50.
Not me.
Hmm, true. And I already have my collector's edition ready.
Nice.
Ooh, and the best part about the collector's edition, can you guess?
Does it have extra stuff?
Tons and tons of extra stuff.
Nice.
Hold on a second. Sorry about that, but
Hmm.
um, I don't know. Have you ever got butt dialed and they left a voicemail?
No.
Apparently that's a thing. Hmm.
Interesting.
but yeah, bonus features, and I think, and it does have the Haunted Mansion Jack's Holiday Tour, the original Frankenweenie, the live action one, not the I don't know if you call it a remake or not, because they did change a lot of the story in the stop motion.
Mm.
The short film Vincent, which is heavily inspired by Mr. Vincent Price. May he rest in peace. And then Tim Burton's original poem as narrated by the late Christopher Lee. And if you've not heard that, I feel sorry. It is very epic.
Oh, nice.
As well as all the commentary and the making of and deleted scenes. Now, oddly enough, the deleted scenes, um, scenes, you know, the only one I might question on why they deleted it was one where where well I'll talk about I'll talk about it when we get to the area it was supposed to go in.
Okay.
Okay, so how do you feel about the remakes and the related sequels that are either coming out or getting ready to come out?
Don't make them.
You heard it here first. Well, probably not. Well, yeah,
There's
I'm
a
kind of
reason
the
why
same.
there's supposed to be a the the thing is there's a reason why there's only one Nightmare Before Christmas, or at least there's supposed to be just one Nightmare Before Christmas, for that matter. It's not meant to have a sequel. It's a complete story that explores a certain type of a story of a story, if you will.
Yeah,
It's like it's one story that goes one direction, and it ends right there. It's a lesson on how one can explore one thing and still come back to appreciate the things in his house. You know,
yeah,
you experience one new, but then you develop an appreciation for the thing that you've done for so many years over and over.
yeah.
It
And now I
also,
will admit, I do have the soundtrack, and it does have that extra section at the end in which Patrick Stewart, was I think it's Patrick Stewart or someone who sounds like him, is
hmm
narrating as Santa Claus, and he talks about coming back to visit Jack a few years later, and Jack is playing with some skeleton children, and he actually asks Jack, if you had known now what you knew then, would you have actually like, done it the first time? And Jack's answer is, wouldn't you?
hmm
So,
the
and
dynamic between those
that's the
two is
only time
amazing.
where they even sort of tease a sequel. Outside the two video games that exist.
If you can call it the video game a sequel, that is. Did you ever play the games?
Well, I've got the Game Boy Advance one. I actually could not get the PlayStation 2 version. Well, the PlayStation 2 game.
hmm
I mean, if they actually do the well, uh, sequel, well, the only thing I want, thing that might come out of it would be if that game got a port to PlayStation 4 and 5.
Right.
I mean, well, that and all the new Nightmare Before Christmas merch. I'm sorry.
But
When I say this is one of my favorite movies of all time, I mean it. And
but again, the thing is when you boil down to it, be a sequel or a remake, a sequel will be pointless. A remake would just be a complete travesty.
yeah, especially
It's
considering Disney's live action remakes.
now hypothetically speaking, if I were to decide to do a Nightmare Before Christmas remake, or not necessarily a remake, a sequel, I wouldn't even set it in Halloweentown. I will make a spiritual sequel to it that will focus on another worldly being that travels to like the reverse kind of where somebody from another season come visit Halloweentown or come visit another exploration of the other worlds that Jack never got around to seeing only Christmas. Maybe the Easter Bunny go visit Thanksgiving or the turkey that symbolizes the Thanksgiving goes to visit what are the other things they showed?
If I remember right, I know there was a Shamrock,
Yeah, visit
and
Shamrock.
um, let's see, I don't know. Now they might have had, well, was there an Arbor Day tree?
I'll look it up.
Hmm. Yeah, I know there was a bunch of doors. In the initial poem, there were only three.
Oh, it's adapted from a poem.
Oh yeah, Tim Burton originally wrote the poem years before it became an actual movie.
Okay,
When he was originally working Disney, this was prior before the Batman movie.
nice.
Yeah,
Mer-
his work didn't really mesh with what Disney wanted at the time, so they fired him. And then he had so many hits. I'm trying to think. Um, Edward Scissorhands, Hands, Batman, and there's probably a few
yeah,
more.
I see the holiday doors. So one was Halloween, Shamrock, Easter, Christmas. I'm gonna hazard hazard the heart means Valentine's. The turkey is obviously Thanksgiving. I don't even know what the stars what the gift wrapper or something supposed to be.
Hanukkah
Could be.
or Fourth of July.
Oh no, it's
Hmm,
a oh yeah, it's the 4th of July. Yeah, it's a it's actually a firecracker.
okay, and yeah, just
But yeah,
imagine if Fourth of July guy or girl ends up in Easter.
it'd be George Washington coming out that door. You know that.
True, true.
I'm just saying, like, again, if I had to do a sequel, it would not be titled The Nightmare Before Christmas. I would actually go to Tim Burton and ask him, like, what would a title would be, like, say, for instance, if, say, one of the leaders of that town were to go to actually visit one of those worlds too. And think about it like this: on their end, the trees look different. Like you know how Jack approaches the doors. The door, every tree there is dead, practically.
Yeah,
Whereas, say for instance, if Santa were to visit, say, well, 4th of July, right? In his world, the trees are still covered in snow, but they're healthy and alive. But when he goes to 4th of July world, I I'm a little worried because In my vision, I'm thinking they're always in perpetual war with the red coats.
Well, it could be like in Rudolph's Shiny New Year, in which
Mhm.
I think it's 1776. Every day was the 4th of July, and every day they had parades.
That could be another one. Like where every year they had the festival of fright in in Halloweentown, whereas in Fourth of July, yeah, you march and they uh they get their flags and everything ready, whatnot, drums, trumpets, horns, all alike, and whatever dinner that was served during the eve of the victory that we had, you know.
Yeah.
If, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Thanksgiving was made for? Wait, no. Thanksgiving was made after the Civil War, if I recall. I heard somebody say that Thanksgiving was a holiday that was created before the end due, due to the end of the Civil War.
Um. Actually, no. It, it kind of was always a bit of a thing. Um. To, it was more to symbolize, um, you know, being thankful for everything that happened throughout the year and what you
Hmm.
had. It was, and that kind of went back to, Plymouth Rock and the
Yeah.
Pilgrims. Um, I think Abraham Lincoln was probably more famous because he was the first president to pardon a turkey.
Hmm.
And there's actually an interesting story behind that. Okay, after one of his sons passed away, um, his younger son was lonely, and so what's a what's a dad supposed to do with his depressed, lonely child? He starts getting him pets. One of them, well, one unintentional pet was a turkey. Now,
Interesting.
unbeknownst to his son, this turkey was supposed to be fattened up for Thanksgiving. Now, it becomes his beloved pet, and he actually, when he finds out the truth, he asked his dad 2 or 3 times not to let them kill his pet turkey. And finally, on the, he decided, keep in mind, Abraham Lincoln was a lawyer. So, um, so eventually you know, it's basically the the last possible minute for this poor turkey. And
Hmm.
finally, his son's in a, I mean, his, uh, Lincoln is in a, you know, in this meeting, and his son, breaks in, and he knows his father's a lawyer, so he decides to plead in the most logical and passionate way possible, like he was in a courtroom, onto why this turkey's life should be spared.
Epic.
And his father is so impressed that the turkey was pardoned, and and it and it and it created this very strange and unique tradition with our presidents.
Hmm.
Now, from my understanding, they did end up having turkey, just not the pet turkey.
No, I'm just thinking the ethics there. The what I'm saying is
It's kind of
the ethical debates there.
Well, it's either that or they had roast beef. I'm not, I'm not 100% sure. It,
All
it's
right.
been a while since I've read the story. Mm, but yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. But Jack does have to make a cameo in some way, or Santa.
Yeah. Um. Again, going back to well, right. It we wouldn't be I'm just saying we wouldn't revisit Jack Skeleton at all. It wouldn't be as clear cut like that. Like, are we going to see Jack? No, Jack's story was already told. Jack's
Yeah,
story has already been told. It would be it. It'll be opening the door to new creations, new designs per if if um if we were able to get Tim Burton back onto the to the production, which I doubt that's ever going to happen.
yeah,
He's
that is the only way. Especially what happened after what happened with Star Wars.
wait,
Uh,
wait, I take that back. No, because they did let him work on Dumbo. Don't watch Dumbo, by the way. And I think he was also, I think Big Eyes was also a Disney production too. I'm not sure though. Yeah, I think they can get him back on board for another. You know, if I were to do the sequel, he'll be on board. Because again, they let him do Dumbo.
yeah. Oh man, I still have nightmares from the live action Alice in Wonderland.
Poor
Don't
you.
get me wrong. I like Johnny Depp. I do like some of the aesthetics of that movie. I just kind of wish I don't know.
I somehow watched both movies.
I
Now,
want to say
mind
the
you,
first one was better.
I didn't pay for the first movie, but somehow something made me go watch the second movie. And again, somehow, for some reason, I watched the Nutcracker.
Uh,
I-
yeah, from my understanding, and this actually came from someone who has watched every single Nutcracker movie.
mhm,
The Barbie and the Nutcracker is angel tier or heaven tier.
mhm. I still like it too.
Nutcracker and the Nutcracker in the Four Realms, it's just above the nuttiest Nutcracker, and the nuttiest Nutcracker is the hell tier. Is what they said.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Do not look that up. I promise you. It it,
The
it looks
best
like it
Nutcracker
could.
to me is always going to be the one where they're on stage and the Rat King has three heads.
Okay. Hmm.
Wait, you never seen that one?
No.
Oh, you missed a classic because it's just complete stage play on film. And the best thing about that one was the fact that the Rat King had three freaking heads. That was the most terrifying thing I've seen. But I was so relieved because the Nutcracker killed it, or at least no, it was the main character. She throws her shoe at it and it explodes.
Oh.
That was epic.
Okay. Now I've got to look that up.
Yeah, you need to. It's freaking amazing because again, like it's basically just it's just a stage play, yes, but it's you know the 90s Cats production, right? That was
Yeah.
put to film as well. That one, the one that was put to film where you see the play in multiple angles, like almost like a cinematic piece.
Not the CGI mess from a
No, not
couple
that
of.
one. Mm-mm. Talking about the one in the
Yeah,
90s.
okay,
They
yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, my brother actually bought the CGI one, and but
what possessed him to do that?
I think one of his friends talked him into it.
Oh
He
wow.
watched it, and uh, well, he already knew I wasn't going to be on board to watch it with him because I hate Taylor Swift, and apparently he watched it. Um, his
I take it.
opinion on it was, uh, let's just say he I forgot if he actually gave that movie to that friend so they could actually watch it themselves, or or if he threw it in a donations box.
Oh, you're gonna have to get back to him on that.
Well, in either case, he got rid of it. He did not like it.
Should have
He
got a
said it was
refund.
just creepy.
Yeah, I don't blame him though.
Well, yeah, yeah. After just seeing the promos for that, it kind of made me really, really hope that they never do a live action Thundercats.
It can work. It's just the fact that they need to stay away from the CGI, whereas the practical effects could have worked best. Thundercats is
Yeah,
Thundercats can work. The problem is that we don't trust Hollywood enough to adapt a faithful adaptation of Thundercats live action. Now,
especially after war.
all you need is you don't really need nothing else other than to just do the face paint. That's it. That's all you need
Yeah,
for Thundercats. Other than
yeah,
that, everything else
y-
you will need probably more budget for the special effects. Basically, just do what they did with Warcraft
yeah. I mean, yeah,
to
yeah,
some extent.
yeah. Start with your practical effects. Your effects, because generally they do look the best to me. And
Mm-hmm.
then you use your special effects sparingly where you need it, like when Lionel summons the Sword of Omens.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with Mumra. Can't
Yeah,
forget Mumra. And Mumra can. The thing is, Mumra is easy. Mumra should be easy to do. All you need is a bodybuilder.
yeah.
That's all you
Well,
need, a bodybuilder for him, and just dress him up when you need to. And you can ADR the person who's playing the frail version of Mumra onto the bodybuilder's body, or or the voice just changes when he transforms.
yeah.
But look at us talking about something off topic.
Oh, yeah, I know. Uh, it also reminds me, I still got to order the Silverhawk series.
I'm chilling with Gridman right now, the entire Gridman series.
Okay. Did you ever watch Silverhawks at all?
No,
Okay, it was sort of like Thundercats.
I'm
I
aware.
mean, um, you had a villain that transformed,
Hmm.
and you had these these talented fighters and slash pilots. Well, actually, I think there were two mechanics in the group
Right.
too, and they were basically a space police force.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was really cool. I mean, there was even admittedly, there was a tiny little educational section at the end with their
As they
childlike
do.
character, the copper kid,
As you
in
would.
which um in which in which he was given trivia questions by Bluegrass, their country music singing pilot. Also, the only one that didn't have wings.
Nice.
Um, so and it'd be like stuff about our solar system, like how many planets are in the Milky Way galaxy.
Cool.
And now the goal with this quiz was for every correct answer he would be getting points. And when he got enough points, Bluegrass was going to teach him how to drive the ship or pilot
Hmm.
the ship.
I like it already.
Now you're going to have to look it up, aren't you?
Oh, I'm already aware of what it is. I just never went into I never watched it at all. I just knew that it existed. That's all. I didn't know the full extent to what the nature of the show could be.
Also, the theme song was really nice.
Say that again.
Also, the theme song was really nice.
Oh yeah,
Wings of silver, nerves of steel, silver hawks, partly
nice.
metal, partly real, silver hawks.
Remind me to sing the Gritman theme song.
Okay, so you about ready to start the movie, or are you still
It's still
downloading?
downloading. It's almost there. It's 70. It's 70% right now.
Okay, well,
Hopefully it works. Cause sometimes it's not a big guarantee whether it works on my computer or not. And this is probably the 1080 p Blu-ray.
okay, and well,
Luckily, my laptop runs 1080p, but that's a given depending on what encoding it's using.
okay, you want to talk about bad sequels or in holiday themed movies?
Like Home Alone 2.
Um,
Sacrilege, I
actually,
know.
yeah, I think that series kind of dropped off after Macaulay Culkin left it.
It should never have been another one in the first place, even with whether or not we had Macaulay Culkin or not.
Yeah, I gotta admit, if you forget your child one time on a big trip, you're a
Mm-hmm.
terrible person.
I even, I even had the gall to chastise the first movie because of the fact that the husband let the wife go by herself to go get their child. And I was like, really? You gonna let your wife be amongst strangers throughout that whole trip? I'm sorry. No, I don't care how different of a time that we were living in at the time. Last time I checked, parents went together to look for their children, even around that time. So I'm like,
Yeah,
when I look back, I was
and the
like, wait a minute, he let his wife go by herself to go get their child. That is both. Y'all both made that. Y'all both made those children together. Both like you no, you're gonna go out there to find your son. All three, both of y'all. You got the children got uncle and aunt. Uncle and Aunt can look after the children. I'm sorry. That been my that been my wife looking for my child. We're going together. We made that together. That's our child. I could see if that if the dad wasn't around and she went out there to go after him. Okay, yeah, fine. Have her go out there by herself, right?
Right.
But I'm sorry, like no, he would. I'm like no. Realistically speaking, he would have went there by him. He would have went there himself. No, not himself. He would have went there with her. I don't care how
Okay. Now,
friendly John Candy is. He's still a stranger. Rest in peace,
well, I
John
was
Candy.
going. Well, I was going to say I will admit I don't think I ever finished three, and I have not even watched four. If it four, which I've been told it does exist. I've also been. I think I've someone told me there was a five,
Yeah,
and
direct to video. Mo- After three, a lot of them went to direct to video.
okay, well, and I know that there's a remake that's
Same thing with Problem Child. Sorry, yeah, same thing with Problem Child. Problem Child even had direct to video without Junior, the original actor. I mean,
ugh. In other words, they couldn't even do one where suddenly he's an adult and he's the parent with the problem kid.
right? That's sad, ain't it?
Yeah. In Hollywood, you have my permission to use that idea.
Well, they got a new Home Alone with a fat kid.
Yeah.
It does not look good. I saw the trailer. It does not
I
look
saw it
good at
too.
all.
I mean, come on.
I don't care. Look, I don't care what kind of body type you want the kid to be in, because I've seen just enough stories with the kids with different body types to not really feel threatened by anything like that per se. But I'm like, it's not Home Alone. It doesn't even look Home Alone. It doesn't even feel Home Alone. Home Alone was barely even realistic when it first started. Barely.
Yeah, especially when well, when, let's just say I got, someone told me about the theory that eventually Kevin then became the Saw killer.
That was stupid.
What the theory?
That's a stupid theory.
Well, a lot of it had to do with the fact that they both seem to like playing games with people
No.
and creating elaborate traps.
No.
Yeah, now
I'm
I will
sorry.
admit that.
No. Continue. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the timeline doesn't make sense anyway.
My thing is that the reason why I say no is because despite the lot in his life he deals with, Kevin's well put together. Plus he has both parents.
Yeah,
And again, usually it usually sometimes the it's usually having a single parent is what makes the kid more murderous or liable to commit the most crimes than one that has both parents. It's rare if the both parent household has a potential serial killer. It's rare, and that's all it's ever going to be. It's rare. It's not going to be a common thing.
mm,
Unlike
true.
most kids with single parent households. Now, again, if there's ever a kid that's well put together despite having a single parent household, that's also rarity, and that's all it's ever going to stay like. It's going to be a rarity, unless that kid from a single parent had really good father figures or parental, dare I say it, better parental figures than the parent themselves. No disrespect to any other single parents that actually do try their best to give their child a better life and try to keep them well put together. No disrespect to those, but the ones that are so negligent and irresponsible, I ain't got no sympathy for you.
Mm, point taken. And this isn't, and that's not just where one parent is just not completely out of the picture due to a divorce or anything. Well, due
Mm,
to a divorce or by choice or by life choices like being in prison. It's also includes where a parent unfortunately is dead or deceased.
mm. Even in some cases, when it comes to the parent that's deceased, the child has no the last thing a child will ever think about is murdering a whole school.
Right.
They'll still be in grieving, or at least missing the parent that sadly passed away.
Yeah, true.
But I'm just saying, like truth be told, Kevin would never be Jigsaw. That just don't make sense to me. Like why would he become Jigsaw? He's got like again, as much as his family, the way how his family are sometimes, it's like I don't. Yeah, I don't buy that he would later become Saw and try to teach people to appreciate life more.
Yeah, a lot more would have to go wrong before he would make that jump, I think.
Hmm.
That being said, I do remember in Hitman, there was a holiday event where, you know, it's it's the fall fashion show in Paris, but there's Christmas decorations everywhere and it's snowing, and
Hmm.
you got Christmas trees in most of the rooms, and you have Santa making random appearances. Well, and teleporting throughout the building,
Almost there, 95%.
and
Just to give you an update.
you have the two robbers from the first two movies.
Oh,
He's
the Wet Bandits.
yeah, the Wet Bandits. Um, that's going throughout the whole building in different locations. Somehow they're able to get through security, and 47 has problems.
Mm,
But um, but yeah, your goal is to is because of the insurance company, the home insurance company, and all the damages they've been causing. They took out hits on the Wet Bandits.
hmm.
So 47 has to get rid of them.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and there are some locations in the building, were in that during that event where you had gifts and you would open them and they would have random objects like coins, peaches, no, not peaches, apricots,
Mm.
or a katana. Yeah, could you imagine getting a katana from Santa Claus for Christmas?
Nice.
Oh, and apparently, like if you snuck up behind Santa, you could actually get his outfit. You would just have to figure out how to dispose of the body. Now, to be fair, the rooms he appeared in had a Christmas tree and usually a fireplace.
Mm.
So uh, now the main problem with that disguise if if you wear it anywhere. Well, if you wear it, everyone notices you and makes fun of you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Almost there. Good thing I select one that's actually eh, it's it's done actually.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, it's a good
Oh
thing I
yeah. Oh yeah. I was going to talk about two two movies that are based on the Ramkin and Bass. Well, on some Ramkin and Bass stop motion animation.
hmm
Um, uh, there was a CGI sequel to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Um, I think it was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Island of Misfit Toys, which when you watch the first movie, and then you watch the second movie, it doesn't make sense at all. I mean,
I bet.
es- especially with the altered ending in which Santa goes back for the toys and takes them to children. So there should be no toys left on the island of misfit toys, correct?
Yeah.
Well, in the sequel, which is not done by the same company at all, I'm going to put that right there,
Okay.
and that's probably the main problem with it. Um, all right, you have Rudolph feeling down on himself and kind of tired of his nose, even though he should have gotten rid of all those issues in the first movie. The end by Rudolph's Shiny New Year, he had already fully embraced and accepted did it as part of who he is, and
Right.
um, and then you have the Christmas in July, um, in which we got more info on that. But in this one, he's still having problems with it. He wants to be like a normal reindeer, and he finds well, and the island of misfit toys. Not only is it populated again, you also have a purple hippopotamus that does plastic surgery on toys
Oh wow.
to make them look better or
That's
look
a
like
tone
new.
shift.
Yeah, and then there's the Brothers Christmas, which is I guess you'd call it a sequel or sequel-ish type thing to um the movie Year Without a Santa Claus. Now these movies were done decades after the original ones, and the puppets for Heat Miser and Snow Miser look off, as like they didn't even try to get the faces correct.
hmm
And then and then Mother Nature actually got completely redesigned or reworked.
That was a good thing I hadn't seen it.
Uh, Now about the only good thing in that movie was the singing, because they did try to keep the music in line with the original.
Really now.
Yeah. Uh, Now apparently they gooped up and actually it's their brother that does this. The third brother we're just now finding out about. The North Wind. He wants to take over for Santa Claus, so he arranges for Santa to get injured. Um, Mother Nature thinks that the her two boys that like to fight, Heat Miser and Snow Miser, caused it. So guess what she does?
What did she do?
She pulls an Andy Griffith and because they were the ones that caused Santa's injury, they are now in charge of making sure that of taking over his responsibilities to make sure gifts get delivered.
So
So so although the visuals look off, I think the story's actually okay.
it's something. It's just it's there's some continuity issues.
Yeah, and 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 I do feel like it may be a bit cliche because obviously you have literal opposites being forced to work together, therefore a common goal. and there are some problems.
Hmm.
Well, but eventually the North gets his in the end. Um, and let's just say his mother is not quite as forgiving as she was to the other two.
Right.
And they actually do get the job done. They still have issues, but they get along better.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody's always going to have. Everybody's going to have their own issues with each other. The the message that a lot of the Wrecking Brass tend to push, which is really good, is that you gotta find a way to work with it if you're willing.
Yeah,
You gotta find a way to work together in the end. Work things out if need be. Which was always this is which is funny is these days that they push more toxic relationships these days, and they tend to have friends fight each other or family fight each other more in stories nowadays.
true.
It's very it's
Now,
very
I will admit, when done
bad
right,
messaging.
it can work. I actually do remember the first Ape Escape game in
Hmm.
which Spike um ended up having to fight his best friend now who was um a bit of a rival to him, as well as um I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. Um, you know, apparently they're very competitive, and the one with the blue hair, I forgot what his name is,
Hmm.
was always a little bit better than him or a little bit faster. Now that's the one that gets brainwashed into helping the apes,
Right.
and it takes getting defeated several times in order for this friend to get freed from the mind control.
That long, huh?
Yeah, uh, yeah, it's right at the end where you're at this amusement park,
Oh wow.
and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, what happened?" And and then you have Kingdom Hearts, which I know you've not played after was it two? Um, Wolfie.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know how in the first Kingdom Hearts game,
Hmm.
you have, well, when you're still on Destiny Island, you already get this um idea of the relationship between Sora and Riku. There's a
Yeah.
bit of a friendly rivalry at hand. You know, Sora's actually keeping score on how many times who wins their little competitions.
Exactly. Yeah.
And in the bigger part of the game, unfortunately Riku does fall in with the dark, well, with Maleficent, and she actually uses Kyrie to manipulate Riku, and eventually, Riku does get possessed, and and in and in the well, and in the end, well, in that first game, Sora has to battle Riku several times. I mean, he actually has to defeat him in order to free him from Ansem.
This is not for me. This is for people in the back, by the way,
Yeah, I know.
because I already know this.
And 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 in the sequel games, well, and the games afterwards, they kind of work together.
Right.
Um, I'm not counting the clone of Riku. That's a complete different.
Oh no, we're not gonna jump into that can of worms.
Yeah, uh, but you kind of get what I'm saying.
It's one of those reasons why I stop going on my way to play Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, but yeah, uh, I guess what I'm saying is a friendly rivalry or becoming rivals can work. Uh, I think the one time where I will
I
admit
think what you're trying to
it,
say is,
it's a bit more in the context.
well, it's more of a you we're supposed to be sold that they're friends. Bottom line, if you're telling me that they're friends, right?
Uh huh.
And the most of what we see so far is just them just arguing all the time, like not necessarily arguing like friendly arguing, or just like having friendly bickering, just bicker for the sake of bicker, right? They just hate each other's guts, and you know they hate each other's guts. But you're trying to tell me that they're good friends, or at least like if one of them die, right?
Uh huh.
Let's go with that. One of them die, and it's all of a sudden the other person is suddenly speaking very highly of that person that passed away. It's where I'll be like, I call BS on that, because majority of what we saw is just them is of them always constantly fighting each other, constantly at each other's throats, to a point where you're questioning, how are they friends, how and why they're friends, and if they hate each other so much, how like nothing in their dynamic ever showed us that they're good friends, despite them always fighting each other.
Right. I
Like,
mean,
you're trying to sell me how good of how good. Basically, what they're trying to tell the lie is that they're telling us is that having they're trying to tell us having a dysfunctional family is healthy. That's the mission mandate. They're trying to tell toxic relationships are always healthy than good relationships.
yeah,
That's what they're trying to sell us in these stories. Is
yeah,
that
and in some cases, the worst case scenario is it does feel like they're actually promoting it more,
hmm
uh, particularly when something like Life is Strange.
oh boy.
Yeah, we are not. I think I've already done a rant on that relationship. Um,
hmm
and actually, several other people on YouTube have.
hmm
And honestly, I will admit I have not played that series after the first one.
Yeah,
And
I'm surprised I survived season 3. I don't think I'm going to survive a season 4.
what you've played them?
Oh no, I didn't play. I didn't play Life is Strange. Or oh, why did I think of Stranger Things? Oh my goodness.
Oh, but
No,
yeah,
I only played like like one or two episodes of Life is Strange. I didn't play the whole series. Mostly because I don't really like point and click games. And yes, that's why I call it point and click. You can call it whatever you want. I'm still gonna call it point and click.
okay. Well, um,
I got the movie ready, and if you've been waiting for that,
oh yeah, uh, yeah. I feel like we could do an entire stream on toxic relationships, but yeah, that'll be
I've
for
done a
another.
stream about that too. So yeah, it's neat. The thing is, toxic relationships need to be addressed. They need to be talked about,
Yeah,
because at this point, it's like, once again, they're trying to sell us that toxic relationships are healthy than normal relationships, like good, well-rounded relationships. I'm like, no. It's like people who are toxic cannot see the happy people be happy. They can't fathom people be happy, or at least we've said this so many times. They can never people who don't know what happiness will be, or can't really comprehend happiness, will never fathom other people are happy. So they misery loves company.
yeah.
and they'll try to make everybody else miserable because they're miserable too. They want to share their misery.
Yeah. uh,
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I will say one anime that I got into that I kind of wish I hadn't was Vampire Night. Yeah, the pretty artwork drew me in, and then
That's how they get you.
yeah, and then I just watched the entire series, hoping it, hoping our female hero, well, heroine, would get some character development or personality or something, and it was like she was like she's almost a worse version of Bella from Twilight. From Twilight.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You take that back. Mm-mm. She's way better. Bella wishes she was her because at least the character in Vampire Night, she kind of has some agency to some degree. At least she got
And
a gun.
staff.
That too. Cause once she had a wait, no, it was a zero.
Yeah, Zero got the gun. She got the staff. Uh, and I will admit her backstory is a little bit better.
Well, she's also likable too. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah,
A lot more likable. I mean, she the story surrounding her is pretty bad, but there's something to work with when it comes to her,
yeah,
and that's all I ever needed. But then again, she could have been done better.
yeah. Now I do, I do remember hearing that the anime, well, the manga went beyond the season 2 of that anime,
Mm.
and after finding out what happens afterwards, I almost wished it had continued because it actually did sound better. Now, ready to start the movie?
Sure.
Okay. All right. On three.
No,
One.
wait. Where are you?
I'm at the very beginning at the logo.
Okay.
Oh,
Let me.
oh, like
Uh,
the castle is starting to form.
is it the stars? Because you know I got a new
Yeah.
logo, right?
Uh, I think so.
I'm at black.
Hold on. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna get to the very start of the movie, not past the logo. Oh, oh yeah. This is the 3D, the 3D Disney castle.
Mm-hmm. Kind of missed the old one where it just blinks the words in.
Yeah.
The wow wow wow. Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, okay. I got it to where it says Walt Disney Pictures presents.
Oh damn, that's not helpful.
Like the as soon as it appears.
Yeah, mine is just a digital file.
Okay.
So again, that's not helpful. You got a DVD, remember?
True.
The digital gets straight to the point.
Well, just start playing it, and then when you see Walt Disney Pictures presents.
Okay. I don't know if you can hear it on my end
No.
because my headphones can still get picked up by the receiver of the mic, and I'm there.
Okay. On three. One, two. 3.
So we should be able to see the orange Walt Disney Pictures, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And then we have the title card, Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
there we go.
And I really love that font style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we see all the different doors.
Heck yeah. You know, I've seen this movie so many times. I've never seen those objects in front of the doors.
Yeah, and keep in mind this was the 90s. Means that everything we see on screen had to be made by hand,
Mm-hmm.
or at least initially with the puppets. But oh, wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see.
Yes. Would
Oh,
you like to see something strange? The things that we'll see. It's a town of Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. At night.
You know, the first time I watched this, I never quite understood the ghosts, but when I watched the making of, I found out that they were actually 2D animated into the movie.
I figured that out a long time ago.
Yeah.
This Halloween. This is Halloween. 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 In this town we call home. In song. This town. Look to the look at town.
Now, I think the black cat in this was a leftover from the short film Vincent because it looked
Hmm.
almost identical.
You get to many productions that you do tend to see some staples into them, like the Pizza Planet car in every Pixar movie.
Yeah.
In the case
Oh,
of
as well as the various jackheads in various movies, um, um, stop motion animated movies.
hmm
I think someone said one made an appearance in James and the Giant Peach,
he did. He was the pilot. He was the pirate captain.
and someone told me they saw a jackhead um in the egg in Coraline. Like the, like they opened an egg and there was this skull. I'm not sure if that it was supposed to be Jack or if it was just supposed to look like a skull.
I'll get back to you when I take a look at it again.
Well, something to keep in mind is the director of that film, Henry Selick, worked on Nightmare.
hmm King. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. 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 Halloween.
Song.
The pumpkin song. La 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 la.
Hey.
I can't recall which one of the townsfolk scared me the most as a kid.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think it was the slime one, the one that's always dripping.
Hmm. Well, of the actual townsfolk,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think mine was the clown with the tearaway face.
Oh him.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was Oogie Boogie. Oogie Boogie always scared me.
Oh, yeah. But I thought you meant actual townsfolk. I don't think we ever see Oogie Boogie in town.
Well, he did pop up in the moon. That kind of counts.
Oh, true. Oh, and a bit of a fun fact: in the prequel Game Boy Advance game, Oogie
Mm-hmm.
Boogie actually wasn't initially from Halloweentown.
Oh wow.
He was actually from a forgotten holiday called Bug Day.
Hmm.
And because everyone forgot about it, it disappeared. so the whole world disappeared. And in that game, he was trying to take over Halloween to revive Bug Day.
Interesting.
But it does make sense because what's he full of? Now, initially, like all these sets, all the floors on these sets were completely smooth and textureless.
Hmm.
In order to give them texture, they actually rolled clay into those swirls to conform to kind of match the to go along the floor to kind of create some depth and texture. And then it was just lighting to create the shadows.
You know, you could just go up there and say hello to him instead of just being a
What?
wallflower.
Oh, and there's Zero.
I love Zero.
Everyone loves Zero.
He didn't even need to be there.
Yeah, Tim Burton really likes dogs. Almost
Frankie
all his,
Muniz, a very prominent one.
yeah, and also in Corpse Bride,
Hmm.
Mister had a pet dog who sadly passed away before the beginning of the movie. But as a wedding gift, Emily gives him back his dog Scraps,
Hmm.
which you gotta admit, that's a pretty nice gift.
Coraline also emphasizes dogs a lot.
Well, I thought Coraline was more about the cat.
No, no. It's
No.
all about the dogs. Even
Oh
Edward
yeah,
Scissorhands, lots of dogs.
yeah. Now I will Now I will say if you ever do decide to go down the dark hole of Coraline theories, uh be careful.
I don't believe them anyways.
Yeah. Well, one time I actually let my YouTube recommendations just play, well, one after the other, and it came on across the Theorizer's compilation of all his Coraline theories.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, nothing against him. I mean, I do kind of admire the creativity and the ideas he was throwing out there on something that could be a interesting story or explanation. Um, but throughout the course of 2 hours, I was hearing him go down this path into madness. I mean,
was it all for show?
well, is well, I don't know because like I said, this was supposed to be the compilation of all his theories relating to this movie. And oh yeah, a quick tip about the swirly hill.
Yeah.
All right, when Tim Burton won't done this, well, one of his rules for Halloweentown was there was no magic. So in order to get the hill approved by him, they had to say it's mechanical.
That's why it didn't move at the end.
Right. And that's also why in Kingdom Hearts, and this, yeah, that's something that did carry over, is you have to hit a certain point in order to use the hill.
Nice.
A bit subtle though, but it's kind of interesting to for nice thing for them to carry over.
Deadly Nightshade.
But going back to the Theorizer's Coraline compilation, at times it was all over the place. I mean, in one theory, the sad blue boy picture was the first victim of the um bell dam.
Hmm.
In another one he it was just a random picture. In another one, it was actually her son. In one, it belonged to the Jones family. In another, it belonged to
What we talking
her.
about?
The I'll tell you what. I'll just say this for the core line for rewatch.
Okay.
Don't ask me when it's going to be though.
Right.
I might save that one for my birthday.
Oh, nice. We'll be doing a Dune discussion on November 9th.
That's my birthday.
Oh, wow. On a Tuesday?
Yeah. Now I did ask off for work from work, so
Well, I did change the time schedule from now on. So if you want to join, you can join us.
okay, I'll try. I can't make any guarantees. I don't know that much about Doom, and I will admit I am extremely bad at first-person shooters. Um,
Not Doom, Dune.
Dune. Okay. Yeah.
The recent Dune movie that came out.
Yeah, I've not watched it. I'm not really
You got
interested
time
in
enough to.
watching.
Oh, never mind then. I won't make you. Best quote. Best quote that could be applied to our today's politicians.
Yeah. Now, now, Tim Burton actually admitted that part of the Beer's character design might have came from his opinion on politicians.
Spot on, if you ask me. Then again,
Oh
any
yeah,
uh any any uh allegory to our current politicians is particularly spot on at this point.
yeah. Oh, oh yeah. And a little fact about Zero. Um, uh, his puppet was actually made of lead, and what, they used the old theater technique to get him in the movie.
You say he made a lead?
Yeah, the sheet that was his that's supposed to make up his body was lead.
Hmm.
So every time they messed with Zero, they had to wash their hands.
Oh wow. For obvious reasons.
Yeah,
Curiosity killed the cat. That's a loyal dog.
yep. Uh, Now, if it was my concerned dog, you know what she'd do?
What she'll do?
She would open the door and jump in after me.
Oh nice.
And then as soon as she saw the snow, she would run around and have fun.
I was like how he eats the snow.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I always imagined that snowball he accidentally threw randomly hit somebody, and they were
I
like,
wouldn't be able to. It's unlikely. Not with that kind of throw. But yeah, it would be funny if he did clock somebody while falling down. What's this?
I gotta admit, I kind of like the snowman disguise.
Hmm. You know, when I look at that, I don't think that was necessary for him to even go in incognito like that.
Mm,
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure he could approach them. I mean, then again, he is trying to be very careful not to disturb them. Wait,
yeah.
how will you
Oh,
know
oh yeah.
mistletoe?
Yeah. Good question.
Like he's nailed to every. He's very curious about everything else. But how would he know that was a mistletoe?
Well, he's been to Kentucky
Wait, did
and
they
is
say?
known through England and France. So I
Okay.
guess he is well educated, even though he knows nothing about Christmas. Hmm.
What's
Oh
this?
yeah, and an additional bit of trivia. Do you know that line where he says the children are throwing snowballs instead of throwing heads?
Hmm.
Um, in a alternate take on a part of the ending where where they're using hockey sticks to use a pumpkin and using a pumpkin for a puck. In an alternate take they use the director's severed head instead. Now, for obvious reasons, that was cut or changed.
Right.
But I have a feeling that Tim Burton liked having a little bit of dark humor.
Always. Even when the joke is played on himself too.
Yeah. Oh, uh, I guess the mayor thought it was a leap year.
364.
You gotta like how every single character in the Halloweentown is different,
Hmm. As it
and most
should
of the
be.
elves. Yeah. Now, looking back, I noticed that most of the elves look almost identical.
Every promotional material for this movie, that cat alarm has always had different meow.
Oh,
I'm saying but promotional, not the official. Like if you ever watched it on a TV spot, that cat's meow would be different every single
oh,
time. I remember that when every time they promoted it,
uh huh.
it always cracked up when he burped.
Yeah.
I don't remember her being this talkative in this scene.
Hmm.
It was mostly visually communicated. This might, I don't know. I could be misremembering. I don't remember her being this vocal in that scene. One's what? And frog's breath.
Uh, okay, why don't you cook yourself?
Tell you who taste it. I want
You can
some.
tell she's up to something, and she's prepared.
Me. Do you know?
And of course, she takes the spoon away. I'm also going to point out that that bowl, as cracked as it is, should not be able to hold that soup. It should be leaking through.
It's a very toxic relationship.
Yeah.
It's kind of a twisted story of Galatea.
He bought a snowmobile.
Or stole it.
Yeah, I know in the poem he does take a lot of stuff, including the big letter C off the Christmas Town sign.
As, as you do.
I have to wonder what the people thought when they realized the big C was missing.
Hismus. Town meeting. Out like a light.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice how she pat him on the head.
Yeah. I think she actually does care about him. It,
Oh, he's a doty father that just smothers her too much.
yeah.
Dad,
Maybe.
you never let me go outside and play. Right?
Yeah. Not to be believed. Found exemplifies my brain. World like anything I've ever seen. Pride can't seem to describe. Most improbable dream.
I'm
You
several
must
seconds
believe.
behind you, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Oh, and I just noticed the curtain has hearts on it.
Kingdom Hearts reference?
This was this was at least a decade before Kingdom
You
Hearts.
gotta admit, they look shaped like the Kingdom Hearts symbol.
Yeah,
Suspicious, isn't it?
who knows? Maybe Nomura got the heart logo from this movie.
Nightmare Before Christmas predicted, Kingdom Hearts confirmed.
Yeah, it's either that or at some point in the past, someone went to Valentine's Day Land and stole a curtain.
Let me
Mhm.
explain.
What did I did? This Christmas sounds fun. But oh, yeah, that's the politician. So, do you know the story behind how Tim Burton got the inspiration for the poem?
Nope.
Oh, apparently he was living in California, and at the location and where he was living, the only way you really had any sense of the seasons was the department store windows. And
Hmm.
one day he was watching them change from Halloween to Christmas, and he and apparently he was known for putting Halloween decorations on his Christmas tree.
Hmm. Do you ever think Jack is the most competent one in Halloweentown?
Hmm. I have to. I think so.
Or maybe he's just the more quote unquote evolved because he's always branching out.
Yeah, it does seem like he is generally curious about things and, you know, more inquisitive.
Hmm.
And, and of course, uh, by today's standards, that he'd be called out for cultural appropriation.
The scientific method.
Yeah. Yeah, you're grounded.
I wouldn't call it poison, more like drugged.
Yeah,
He's very polite when greeting somebody at the door.
yeah. I don't really think the mad scientist is really that bad.
No. Question: does he even know Sally exists? I don't think
Um,
everybody knows she exists.
well, in the Game Boy Advance game, she had just been created, and he
Hmm.
does get to know her. I mean, someone actually mentions, "Hey, you have to get this from Sally," and he's like, "Who's Sally?" She is Dr. Finkelstein's recent creation. Dissecting a teddy bear.
I
You know, Jack, you could have just went to Build a Bear.
like that how he's just using all his equipment just to study things when it's so simple.
Yeah,
Every SJW's thought process when they look at other people's culture.
yeah.
Interesting reaction. But what does it mean? While claiming that that one culture has such a great culture, but the only thing they've done is observe it from their balcony.
Yeah. Oh, and I gotta love Sal's little sewing machine.
Oh yeah.
So I guess while she's rounded, she can keep herself busy making dresses or dolls or something.
Well, he's like we said earlier. He's not a bad guy. I mean, come on, look at that room.
Yeah.
For all we know, it could have been a room with just nothing but walls.
Yeah. I mean, and he even gave her a bed.
You know, you could do this every night, girl. You don't have to always drug the man.
Yeah.
I mean, just wait for the guy to go to sleep and just leap off to your doom and put yourself back together. I don't remember if this ever scared the crap out of me.
Okay. And another fun fact, when they were deciding what was going to be in Sally, they originally discussed some disgusting things like organs and blood and stuff. And someone decided, leaves.
Okay, right. He does check in on her.
Yeah. In a way, he really is a good dad. He just maybe a
Oh,
bit,
overprotective.
yeah. Now,
Gone
also in
again.
also in the original script, he was going to be the villain instead of Oogie Boogie. Well, he was actually supposed to be Oogie Boogie.
Hmm. Oh, so he does know she exists.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh, and there's a butterfly.
Gone.
Yeah.
Ah, you gotta love the 90s back then. Always a secret admirer
Yeah.
outside the window.
Oh, that's a cute little tree. Charlie Brown would be proud. Uh, until that. Yeah, that's very ominous.
Hmm. I got to stop him.
Something just like that.
Just slept there all night. Surprised the doctor
Yeah.
didn't find her.
Uh, now that line does not make sense, and it's actually supposed to be a joke, from my understanding.
Hmm. Which line?
Hope he hasn't died. He's already a
Oh,
skeleton.
have you ever tried a card house, a house of cards?
Yet never goes well. Uh, Probably one of my favorite episodes of the Brady Bunch was where well, the boys want to get a boat and the girls want to get a sewing machine with their stamps, and they have a deadline, so they can only get one or the other. So in order to decide who or what they get, they they build a card house.
Hmm.
Yeah, I never get more than 10 cards to cooperate before it goes to.
Is it because the concerned dog breathes on it?
Yeah. Oh, and I just noticed something. Remember that tree that Sally was, well, that the flower turned into that Sally was
Hmm.
holding? It looks a lot like Jack's tree.
Yep.
It's a bit subtle, but it's really a neat detail. I just noticed that.
He's gone mad.
Yeah.
Did you count how many lines Sally had in this film?
No. Oh. Oh. And you know something else the SJ hobos would be commenting on? The body diversity of the vampires.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, or did you notice we have a couple skinny ones and they're various heights, and a couple are a bit,
Chubby.
yeah. But they wanted all the characters to look unique in Halloweentown.
The Powder Gang.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Um,
not called the Powder Gang. They're called the
I forgot what they're called too, but their masks were actually inspired by an episode of The Twilight Zone called The Masks.
I hate fighting them in Kingdom Hearts 2.
I do too.
Cause, cause I think Barrel will always zip across the level.
Yeah.
He would just knock us, knock Sora in the group off guard and do a lot of damage too. Which song was your favorite of this movie?
Hmm. Give me a second. Um, I've got to say probably Jack's Lament
Hmm.
later on in the film. Now you can tell that the swirly hill is an illustration in some of the sequences.
Oh yeah.
That is door, and then now how they came up with this song is they were making lists of things that they could that to do to Santa Claus and
Hmm.
some things that maybe they shouldn't do. And let's just say that they said that they did strike some things that they shouldn't do because they didn't want to make these kids seem too terrible.
Hmm.
Also, um, in a cut, in a part of his song, Oogie Boogie also references Snake and Spiders too. So, which of this trio do you most identify with?
None of them.
You don't like them?
I didn't say I don't like them. Just never identified with them.
Hmm.
It's a catchy song they're singing.
Yeah, yeah. You need to listen to the I forgot who sings it, but there's another take on it in the deluxe version by a singer. I forgot who done it.
I don't think they particularly work for Oogie Boogie. I think they just serve him in such a way, kind of like a cult.
Yeah.
Like they offer him a playing it off.
I'm kind of surprised he already adds the snow to the hill in the illustration. And I gotta wonder if he traced before he did the other work.
This is Jack we're talking about. He might have done that.
Yeah.
I'm nearly done sketching out my Halloween art.
The Easter Bunny. Yeah, I gotta wonder if the Easter Bunny went back to his world a bit Disturbed. Maybe you should have told them that to begin with.
Of course, the girl's the smart one.
Yeah.
Hopefully. He's taking her runaway really nicely.
Yeah. Oh, and they're changing the sign.
No longer celebrating Halloween, they're celebrating Christmas.
And right now it'd be around Thanksgiving. Or right before Thanksgiving, if I've done my
I
math
think
right.
this song is my favorite, actually. In
Children, be
Christmas,
surprised. Where's this time? Mm,
it's
mm,
a
mm.
Christmas making
I wonder what they were
Christmas.
making for real. Like, was it going to be their version of eggnog or hot chocolate or
I don't know what it is, considering the creature they're taking a bath in it. I practically don't want to know.
yeah?
It's,
Now imagine getting that package under your tree. And here's the infamous vampire teddy bear. Um, Now that one object kind of replaced some of the ravens in the haunted mansion during the holiday time during um at Disney World,
hmm
and you can find the vampire teddy bear throughout the entire ride.
Yes. How I shall turn this hat into a most delightful hat.
Actually, that thing, whatever it is, that also freaked me out a little bit.
I know what
Oh,
the
and Jack got stuck. Christmas. And now we get a spin on Halloween on Christmas Town. Oh, that's not how you make teddy bears. It's more right here. It's more manufactured.
hmm
Oh, and now we have our creepy skeleton deer.
I always like the deer.
Oh, gotta give this sled a good waxing. Now this part I like where we see the Christmas Jack in the Box, and then we see the Halloween Jack in the Box.
Right.
I'm gonna say that they give a little bit more care in Halloweentown on some of these things because it does seem like the Christmas one is more manufactured or more automated.
Oh, come on. You don't like the genuine article?
Well,
Are you saying Santa's gotten lazy over time?
well, not necessarily. It just feels like they're going for efficiency.
Maybe it's daughter getting back at Deer all day because he wouldn't give her a pony on her sweet 16.
Wow, it took them a while to get back to Christmas Town. I gotta
Oh,
wonder if they
and
made a couple more goofs.
you, you're gonna ignore that reference, okay.
Oh, 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 look at that chair. For some reason, it reminds me of Blue's Clues.
Oh wow.
Oh, and that's why you always look, look through the door or window before you open it.
Right. Not the Christmas King.
Oh, well, at least they gave him some candy to uh snack on, I guess.
Earlier, you were concerned on how he would be dead if he's a skeleton. I'm still more concerned how he's able to blink while being a skeleton.
Well,
Then
there's
again,
actually a little bit of a reason for that. They something that stop motion animators have learned over time is if you have a character that's staring at you the entire time, it gets a bit unnerving.
hmm
So they learned how to animate blinks.
yeah, but Jack doesn't have eyes, so I don't think anybody would have been unnerved by him being perpetually eyes open.
I think it was most well. I think point
Well, somebody
taken.
can imagine the eyes on in his sockets.
Yeah.
Then again, if they do that, I'm like, why would you think that, you sick freak?
Well, mm, now I also will say in the poem he does early on mention skeleton dances. I can only guess it's a reference to the animation spooky skeletons that Disney done.
So are we just gonna ignore that he's playing Adam and Eve with the automaton?
Uh,
You know, he's
yeah,
giving part of his brain to her.
yeah, and he didn't do that to Sally. I don't think.
That's a good thing too, because I think he was having separation anxiety. You know, I think he cured it by creating an automaton.
Yeah, cause I'm really
Uh,
scared. What you talking
Santa
about?
Claus, huh? I'm really
Okay,
scared.
I gotta say,
Yeah,
in Kingdom Hearts, of the lower villains, he is the one I hate the most.
same here. Actually, I take it back. This is my favorite song of this movie.
Oh, but
Listen,
yeah,
listen.
yeah, Oogie was the most annoying. It took me hours trying to figure out how to defeat him.
Yeah, it took me about maybe 3 5 minutes to figure out his weakness. No, I don't mean to brag.
Now, now my issue was trying to get where I could attack him, because you know how there was that roulette wheel,
Yep.
and even today,
Oh.
it's that level still gives me trouble.
Whoa, Oogie Boogie, man. You know, that's me still consequences. It's spinning me, so please, senses. You're joking. You're joking. You need ears. So this up in my tears. You're laughing. You really are too much. And I won't be a mission. I'm going to do my stuff.
Oh yeah, but going
Yes,
back to the
again.
blinking thing, um, I might have to look it up and send it to you, but there's a like one of the very first stop motion animations,
Mm-hmm.
uh, peanut vendor, in which you have this monkey, apparently trying to sell peanuts, and he's singing the song Peanut Vendor, and you have these
Mm.
trees moving around. Um, he doesn't blink at all, and um, apparently it is giving people nightmares. And at one point, his tail even detaches and
Oh wow.
reattaches. It's less than 2 minutes. But yeah, I'll try to send a link to one of those to a copy of that video.
Mm. Did you ever
Oh
see Monkey Ball?
oh no, I remember the promos for it.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
Is it bad?
I wouldn't say, well, from my perspective, I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not good either. It's one of those fella attempts at making an adult kind of like family movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
You know how those tend to turn out, right?
yeah.
They usually go with the best intentions, but they go with the most juvenile ways of the execution.
Oh, and here's our little Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer reference.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Now, admittedly, in the poem, the whole Oogie Boogie thing was not in it.
of course.
Or the Sally, or and although Sally was in it, she didn't really have a name or a role. It was just Foggy,
Right.
but this scene specifically does happen. And Zero, he will do anything for his master.
At the head of the team, Zero. That was a happy accident.
Yeah,
Oh, it's like his
and
laugh during the sequence.
yeah,
And it's time for Sally's number.
yeah. I like how they know what kind of music to play when.
Mm-hmm.
When feels like tragedies at hand, and so I like to stand by him. And this feeling that I have, the worst is just around the bend. And has he noticed
By the way,
the feelings for him? Yeah,
did you ever listen to the Amy Lee version?
yeah.
What's your take on it?
It's okay. I kind of like the original better.
Of course. Did you ever like Marilyn Manson's version of This Is Halloween?
I actually do kind of like that one.
It's so party-ish. It's really
Yeah.
good. It's really like even if you would want to play the original for a Halloween party, like Marilyn Manson's version does fit the scene so well. It's like
Yeah.
you would not find it out of place at a Halloween party, or at least, well, well, does called This Is Halloween, right? But it's like the way
Yeah.
how he stylized it, it like you'll be jamming to it either way, you know.
Hmm.
Now I did like Violet or Orlandi's cover of This Is Halloween. If you heard of her,
Oh. Uh,
she's one of those YouTube cover singers.
Okay, I don't think I have heard her version.
It's banging
Oh,
and very haunting,
now to be
but she
fair,
nailed it.
oh, I just realized that that angel is being hung. It just adds a little bit of morbid to it.
Tim
Yeah,
Burton's madness on display.
yeah. It also reminds me a little bit of a film called Ouija.
Mm. By the way, there was an episode on Love, Death, and Robots that's complete stop motion that reminded me so much of Nightmare Before Christmas. And it was a Christmas episode.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Speaking of stop motion, did you ever look into Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart?
I saw the trailer that you sent me,
Okay.
but I
Now
didn't
it
watch the
was
movie
on
proper.
Tubi. Of course, I know how
Mm.
you feel about Tubi.
I like his look. Oh, how gradual it's gonna be as the sequence go on.
Oh, look at that reef.
Hmm.
Now, how would you like to wake up on Christmas morning and see a snake under your tree?
Mm, it probably wouldn't affect me much.
Oh,
Of course, the black
and
kids get
that,
attacked.
yeah. Oh, actually, I was going to say, yeah, that's why you don't open your toys early.
Well, that'll teach them.
And also, well, another reason they might have been attacked, they were wearing Mickey Mouse pajamas. It might have been Tim Burton's way of getting back at Disney for firing him.
Well, one thing I love about the sequel is nobody's safe.
Yeah,
You got the Asian kids get attacked by bats.
and you had a grandma get attacked by a wreath.
Hmm. And black kids getting attacked by toys. Nobody is safe. Good. That's how it's supposed to be. He's
And
taking
you
this too
gotta,
well.
yeah, and you gotta, and I kind of like how they kind of hid the faces of the adults.
Hmm. Good old 90s.
Yeah,
She bite her lip a lot, doesn't she?
yeah,
Oh wait, that's how her lip is shaping. Okay. I kept looking at it, I was like, why is she always biting her lip?
and of course they get the military involved.
Somehow. And boy, man, they spare no expense on this. Movie is showing the time periods taking place in too. Kinda.
Yeah. Okay, now this scene definitely would be a little bit what would be
Risque? Nah, I doubt it.
well, you know how Twitter is.
Whatever. Who cares about what Twitter thinks?
Well, to be fair, he's just tickling her.
Big Owl on display.
Yeah.
Me? Surprised she just stood there and let herself get sucked out.
Uh-huh. Now, the names on the list are probably people who worked on the film.
Most likely.
Mm, I know when I
Direct
watched,
hit.
I know when I watched um the um the Haunted Mansion tour where or they actually said that that everyone on that list when they done the decorations for the decorations, um, they either worked for Disney or were a family member of a Disney employee.
Back when
Also
Disney
said
had a
in
heart.
Tombstone. Yeah. And that even included the tombstones on the original ride. I mean, can you
Now, did you
imagine?
cry when this scene came up?
I was shocked.
Jack has been blown to smithereens.
Y- Yeah. Oh, oh, look at the little kids.
Hmm.
Oh. Now,
I'm just laughing at the fact that Christmas is going to get canceled because Santa didn't show up. Like,
yeah, true. Oh. Now, what I love about this scene is the symbolism as well as, you know,
hmm I think this is my second favorite song.
well, yeah, that is an ancient bicycle over there. The big wheel bikes, that are often shown come come from the 1800s. Um, they were bad for tipping over.
Oh, I always found the toys lying on the ground disturbing when I was a kid.
Oh,
When they show the toys on the ground, I always found that disturbing.
yeah, like there were bodies.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were supposed to be. Then again, now that you mention, uh, uh, and now you got me thinking about the curse of Momo.
You're welcome.
Well, oh, you know
What
that
the
story.
heck? It's really fast. I've got a big something swell. And about I even touch the sky. And this side of the soil, so I tell. I did.
Jack, the Pumpkin King. That's right. I am the Pumpkin King. Ah, ah, just can't wait until next Halloween because I got some new ideas that'll really make them scream. Oh my god, I'm gonna give it all my might. Now, I gotta admit, Jack ripping off the clothes was probably a, like a great symbolism about realizing who he really is
Mm-hmm.
and that he didn't need to be Santa. Uh, He also, in a way, it also makes me think about Frozen and how both time in both movies, Elsa basically gets this moment where she completely changes her outfit and hairstyle, and it kind of loses its effect after you do it so many times with the same character.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember when I watched the second movie, I was like, Okay, you've already had your self exploration and accepting your powers and who you are. Why are you doing this again?
For reals. That's why I didn't watch it. The sequel.
Yeah,
And then she gets a freaking horse.
I will admit I like the horse. I was kind of half expecting it to be a Kelpie, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But um, yeah,
Cheater.
if you ever want to do a rewrite of Frozen 2, let me know.
My rewrite would be I wouldn't make it at all. The movie story was already told. But then
True.
again,
That would.
that was a boss entrance for him.
Yep. Oh, and we kind of missed the scene I was going to tell you about, but there was originally supposed to be a scene when he's calming down, where previously the three little trick or treaters were kind of excited to see Santa and Sally get tortured by Boogie, so they grabbed
Mm-hmm.
popcorn and soda, and they were going to watch it. And then and while they're watching it, Jack climbs down, and he scares the pants off of them and scares them out of the cage.
Nice.
And you know that they were the reason that scene was cut was they were afraid they were going to make them seem too evil.
Oh wow.
So a little bit of impact.
Treat my friends so safely.
Well, I don't know if you would call Santa a friend. I mean, you just met him, and right after you met him, you kind of
Maybe it's a
I
culture
don't
clash.
yeah.
This creeped me out as a kid.
You've only known her for a little bit of time, Santa, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, yeah, I don't think you got to meet anyone else in Halloweentown or know them that well.
I think they're aware of each other,
Yeah,
but they didn't really know each other that well.
yeah. Well, Santa does know that she was the one that tried to rescue him. So
Maybe she explained it to him. I was saying maybe she explained everything about their world to Santa Claus while they're in captivity.
yeah, possible. uh, yeah, I'll take a puppy over a shrunken head any day.
You mean to tell me the parents were still fainted even when the kid looked out the window for when the cop announced that Santa Claus was going to be when Christmas was going to be canceled?
I guess. Hmm. Hey. Oh, oh, back is back, so everyone cheer.
I think my
Mm.
niece rolled on my leg like that one time when she was a baby.
Oh, and Santa makes his appearance here. Like, yeah, you've done wrong, but I forgive you.
Well,
That's what
after
I
all,
get.
it was a misunderstanding.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, think about it. It all started because it was a misunderstanding of both cultures. I mean, I
Uh,
joke, but I'm just like every time I think of Nightmare Before Christmas, it's like Culture Clash, the movie.
yeah.
Truth be
Now let's
told,
see.
Oogie Boogie should not have existed at all. The conflict should have been Jack and Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Wow, am I being critical of this movie?
Oh, well, you're allowed to be critical of stuff you love, so
Mm-hmm. Because when you really boil down to it, like that big conflict between Sally and the doctor didn't really need to happen because all he needed to do was create an automaton. Like he's having trouble expressing his separation anxiety. He was just lashing out because he was missing another half.
yeah.
I finally figured it out. Hooray!
And like I said in the soundtrack, there is an additional line that takes place years later,
Hmm.
and a lot of people assume that the skeleton children Jack is with are the children of him and Sally.
No way. It wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, I mean, nothing. I don't think anything really dies in Halloween Town or these worlds. Um, I'm pretty sure Oogie Boogie will pull himself back together, but um, but yeah, it's kind of in a time
Isn't that
loop.
what happened
So
in the sequel game?
I think so. I know that's what happened in Kingdom Hearts 2.
He became a shadow though, right? Kinda.
Well, kind of. Um,
Kinda like what Scar did in Pride Rock.
yeah. Now, um, now there is a theory on how it would be possible, though. Although it wouldn't be obviously be genetic. Well, they're genetic children. Um, that Sally patches up things with Dr. Finkelstein. He is still her dad after all.
Right.
And, he already likes Jack. So, he
I
wouldn't have a
mean,
problem with
what's
them
not to
being in a
like about
relationship.
Jack? He's the Pumpkin King.
Yeah, so obviously he wouldn't have a problem with them being in a relationship, correct?
Right.
So, so, um, so if they asked him to make them uh kids, like he done with the reindeer,
Hmm.
it might be possible that he would actually um make children for them. It's
We
either
never
that or
get
they
no
adopt
closure
him.
between him and Sally, did we?
Mm, true. Ugh, I really hope that's not what they're going to base the Disney sequel on. Ugh,
Yeah.
man, that will be terrible. I mean,
With all these announcements of all these movies, I'm never shocked when they do get made, but I am also sometimes just shaking my head at like why you're still going, why you still keep going.
true. But then again, like I was saying on the stream before you came on, um,
Mm.
Disney used to be bad for doing a lot of direct to DVD sequels. Um, sequels. Um, let's see. I know the Little Mermaid had the Little Mermaid 2: Return to the Sea, which it was okay. It it, it more it focused more on Ariel's daughter,
Hmm.
and where Ariel was kind of forbidden from going to the surface, her daughter was forbidden from going to the sea.
It was not well handled in my book,
Yeah, that could have been better because it essentially made Ariel King Triton,
which is not.
and
That's the thing. I don't mind her becoming her dad. Like just have a have a reason because one, Morgana was not that threatening of a villain per se until like at the
True.
end. But even then, like her motivation was not even solid. It's more I just want to be the better Ursula,
Yeah.
not no
Mm,
revenge for her own sister. At least like I can buy her having revenge for her sister. Like if I had to rewrite Morgana, it's like she looked up to her big sister. But the thing is that from what we heard from Ursula, she was banished from the Mer Kingdom from Atlantica, I believe it's called, right? Atlantica.
yeah.
So it's like you're supposed to look up. You want to look up to that. Like she gets banished, starving, living out her days. But like I said, that's how it written Morgana. Like she was very respected. She was she respected her sister. She loved her sister very much, and this this mermaid, or at least the human, killed her sister, so she will want revenge for her
Yeah.
sister.
And another issue I kind of had with the sequel is it didn't give Eric much of a personality.
Oh yeah,
I
he
mean,
was
not
just
that he,
there.
yeah, I'm not going to say he had much in the original movie. I mean,
Oh, he
now,
had something there. Don't
yeah, I
downplay that. He
mean,
had something there.
yeah, I mean, he was nice enough to take this strange girl who he just found on the beach into his home.
I mean,
Make
he
sure,
did love his dog.
yeah,
He outright
true,
saved him too. It's like
yeah,
there's something to Eric. Like I really hate when people try to make these princes out like they have no personality or nothing. It's like there's was like he was way better than Prince Charming in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You know what I'm saying?
true,
He can.
something, and something else that we do know about Eric is he does love the sea. And
Mm,
actually, in the prequel TV series, there was there was an episode where Eric made an appearance. Um,
yeah, he
not with
did.
Ariel, in which he is just going out to sea to learn um how a how ships operate. Y-
There was a moment where he almost spotted Ariel,
Yeah,
and I like that little touch. Like they were hinting at that one of these days that they're gonna meet.
yeah.
He's
Oh,
like, I don't
and
know what
another,
it was, but I intend to find out.
yeah,
It's a nice little touch. I also one thing I loved about that series was when they briefly show a pass where Flounder and Ariel met each other.
yeah,
I like
yeah,
I like that. That was adorable. And
yeah,
seaweed pies, mm.
yeah. And the music that series was so good too. I think one of my favorite episodes was Harmony.
Oh yeah,
I mean, um, oh, and in another episode, so Hans Christian Andersen made an appearance.
oh nice. But then
Yeah,
again, if I was writing a sequel to Little Mermaid, Evil Manta would get his due.
definitely. I got,
But unfortunately, we couldn't do that because they did establish that he has a son,
yeah, and his son. Well,
Lil Eva.
yeah, supposed to be evil, not well, not quite.
I like how he tries to be evil too.
Yeah. Hmm.
Disney
Um.
was hitting it big with the series like Aladdin the TV series, Hercules the series.
Oh,
Even
and actually, Aladdin and Hercules had a crossover episode.
yeah, I remember that. In Hercules' show,
Hmm.
Jafar. found his way into to Hades' underworld.
Yeah,
I
and
like
they
that.
made a little bit of a bet. Um, Hades against Aladdin and Jafar against Hercules.
That was not gonna pan out. The good old days.
Yeah.
Did you know that they're actually making a Buzz Lightyear movie?
Yeah, I just heard about that. I've not seen a trailer or anything, but um, I don't know.
I'm not excited for it. Mostly
Yeah.
because I'll briefly touch on what I saw from the trailer. So it looks to be a bit real world ish with some aliens to it. Yes. Uh, Buzz Lightyear's design is different because of the new actor that they're picking him for. Chris Evans is going to be voicing Buzz now.
Oh,
So so this, mind you, this is a whole entirely different story about Buzz's origin. So of course they're gonna give him a female partner. Not only that, she's gonna be a black female partner.
what? Oh, of course, because Mirror in the cartoon was a redhead.
Well, again, he's on Earth. He's not in Star Command, like like the Galactic Star Command that we see him in the show.
Okay. Oh,
They're treating him like he's an astronaut right now. That's mostly what they're doing. They're starting them off as astronauts, not really like space rangers.
okay. Hmm.
But like I said, it's like they gave him a female black partner. Thankfully, she's not a woke black by the looks of things, but it is still a check mark to be checked off because they keep her in front and center for every appearance that she's in. Like she's that important. And then there's like I said, it's I was like, oh man, why didn't we get at least a movie of Buzz Lightyear and Star Command instead of this with his team, Buster, Mira,
Yeah.
XR, yeah, XR9. Oh well, they want a fresh take. They'll get fresh take. I'm not watching it.
Yeah. I mean,
Um, Animation is fine. It's cool, but
to be
yeah,
honest, I think I would be happier if they had done something like that with Woody.
yeah. We finally get Wooly's roundup for once.
Yeah. Um. I mean, and then if partway through the series you wanted Buzz to randomly show up, or something happens and Woody gets thrown into the future, hundreds or thousands of years from then, and
Mind
he
you, that's too overly ambitious. I would just kept it in Wooly's world. We know enough of Buzz World through Buzz Lightyear and Star Command. I would love to have seen Wooly's roundup. Considering all the Western movies that we were getting at that time.
yeah, and
But of course, that show existed in a world where it got canceled.
true. And I just remembered something. Do you remember the show Bonanza?
I know of it. I didn't watch it.
Okay, the father, let me give me a second to remember his name. Um, not Joe. Um, uh, well, the dad of the Cartwright clan, was Lauren Green. What was played by
Hmm.
Lauren Green, and he also had a part on the original TV series Battlestar Galactica.
Neat.
Yeah, I know a bit of random trivia. Now he actually did pass away a few weeks before they were going to start shooting the Bonanza spin-off, well, sequel series.
Okay.
And I think he was almost in every single episode of that series, of the original Bonanza series. You okay?
Yeah, just indigestion. Kidding, kidding.
Okay. But, yeah, I do recommend that you give a few of the Bonanza episodes a watch.
Right.
Because I'm not really into westerns, but I've got to admit they do have some interesting stories. Like stories, like there was one where there was a bit of a mix-up where I think a bunch of Chinese workers are working on the railroad, and the foreman has ordered himself a wife, and Haas, the middle brother, there had ordered some fireworks,
Right.
and there's a mix-up, and Haas gets the wife, and the foreman gets the fireworks. And to make things more complicated, the bride is a feminine. Went to a was going to a school that was very anti-imperialist. Um, her schoolmaster had actually lost her head by order of the empress.
Oh wow.
And a lot of what she was she was causing a lot of trouble trying to get the workers to unionize, um, get them to
Mhm.
stop working, try to make them request for more food or more pay. Even Hop Sing, um, the loyal cook, and yeah, Hop Sing put up a lot through with the Cartwrights, right? Um, Even he rebelled a little bit.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, now that episode ended kind of weird because the foreman, um, actually, because at this point he was mad that you know, even though the bride did not like how she was being, how well was trying to cause trouble and and you know try to, what's the word, um even though she was trying to make them value themselves more, he still wanted her, and she still chose Haas over him initially because she thought to him she was just an object. So when he came in armor and used the fireworks, uh suddenly she got impressed with him, and bye bye. Yeah, I'm not sure how today's culture would view um but that was a really interesting
Oh,
way
you
to
have
work.
an idea. Don't worry, you have an idea of how they will react.
And in another episode, they had a Taming of the Shrew type episode,
Oh
except
no.
except the Shrew character was Latina. And in this one, instead of using Haas, they used the oldest brother Adam. And
Interesting.
he yeah, and he's very patient. He's very polite. He is strict with her though. But she is supposed to meet this other guy, and she wants to impress the other guy. Uh, so he teaches her how to behave nicely and everything. And what what Adam finds out later is the 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 man she likes, he actually wants a firecracker. He wants the shrew. So Adam has to figures out a way to let loose the shrew so that they can get together. If that makes
Interesting
any sense.
turn of events. No, it makes absolute sense. That's basically the lesson to learn sometimes. So you don't always know what people want or what people like.
Yeah. So anything else you want to talk about before we call it a night?
No, not really.
Oh yeah, and one thing I did want to mention, and it might be just me noticing it, but in the last few years, have you noticed that Disney trying to g- has been having their own magical schools?
No, I haven't.
Well, you have Owl House that is basically that I want to say almost attempts to be um the almost Harry Potter like.
Yeah, I'm aware of Owl House.
Um, and well, you had the School for Wayward Magic movie last year. Um, actually, I've not really heard that much from it since it premiered last year. I'm kind of
It
surprised.
started with
That-
Wizards.
With
It
Wizards,
started this trend with Wizards of Waverly Place and Descendants.
yeah, I still say Descendants is um, it's just Ever After High with Disney characters,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
and now they have the show The Worst Witch playing on the Disney Channel.
Which version?
Their new Disney Plus TV series, not the movie from the 80s.
I asked that because there's a remake of the series on Netflix from the
Okay,
in not made here.
okay. I didn't know about that one.
I've seen 2 seasons of it already. It was actually not that bad.
Yeah, it does seem like they want their own Harry Potter.
Now, I don't know if it ever went woke in later seasons, but again, so far it's been not that bad.
Hmm,
Though there is some things that'll make you cringe a bit because in our we've already been beaten over our heads so many times with the woke machine. It's more of in the way how they present these problems. For all we know, they could be genuine in what their assessments are, and they do handle it in such a way where both parties are both recognizing each other for their faults. So yeah.
okay. Oh yeah, and one thing I was going to mention, I talked about very early in the stream. The stream was about the movie Under Wraps. Do you remember the '90s version of that movie?
Mm-hmm.
And you know they remade it.
Now they actually released it.
Yeah, it they released it earlier this month. It was the same day that Molly McGee, The Ghost in Molly McGee premiered.
Really?
Yeah, now I did not watch the movie, but I did see the trailers for it. Um, and all right, they already swapped all three of the kids,
Oh God, I see it now.
and they gave Amy some of Marshall's lines.
Wow.
They also gender swapped the mentor who was telling them about the mummy,
Oh
and
no.
and she does not look nearly as good as the original one. Um,
Let me guess. She's the ringleader.
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch the movie, but it did seem
It
like it
looked
was
like they're
more.
put. I'm saying it looked like they're putting front and center her again. Like they always want to make sure the girl is front and center in today's media now.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry,
the
I watched the original.
yeah, and now something else I noticed was the effects looked worse.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at him now. He looks terrible.
I'm probably know what I'm talking about because there was uh, there was a point in the promotion where one of the bad guys got thrown, and it just looked like he had been cut out of the picture and just kind of thrown, like someone was moving. It
By the
just looked.
way, I'm looking at the screenshots right now, and it looks too clean. It doesn't have that like in the original. It doesn't have that like griminess. Like things look like even if you put characters in the house in the original one, right? The
Yeah.
house looks lived in. It doesn't. It barely looks like a set or like you just walked in somebody's house after spring clean and then you decide to film there. You know,
Yeah.
even every location that in every location that they've been in, it's always looked lived in. But that's again they've always filmed it on location on in the actual spot. You know.
Yeah. Now, if you want to give them the benefit of the doubt because of the situation last year, uh, I still think that he should have done something to make it look a little bit more grimy.
Hmm.
Because remember in Star Wars,
Yeah.
I actually remember hearing in a documentary that the reason the ships look more realistic in the inside is George Lucas specifically asked for them to add dust and dirt and grime, um, just to give that more lived-in feel.
Hmm.
Because if you look at other shows at the time everything looks like the cleaning lady spent you had five cleaning ladies um spending uh probably 16 hours a day, 7 days a week
Right.
uh just detailing everything to almost where it's almost medical grade clean.
Right. Man, now I want to watch Under Wraps tonight. It's
The
free on
original.
YouTube. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hmm.
It might be free on YouTube.
Yeah.
Whoa, here's some shocking news.
What?
Black actress Sharon Duncan Brewster removed from new Doom poster in China. Oh wow, and we thought John Boyega was the only one.
Yeah.
It's official. Chinese don't like blackanese.
Yeah, I am
Kidding,
wondering
kidding.
what they're going to do with the Little Mermaid live action remake.
They're probably not gonna screen it. Probably not gonna screen it.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I'm not planning on watching it.
Me neither.
Yeah, I've already had family members saying, "But it's your favorite movie. You watched it all the time when you were little."
Yeah, the animated version.
Yeah, I've even I've even had told them, that's why I'm not watching it, and that's also why I didn't watch The Lion King.
Well, if you want to watch a good superhero movie, watch Up and Away. It's one of Disney's original movies back in the good old days.
Yeah. I'm, well, it'd be nice if they could go back to the good old days, but you know,
And
well, they have a new, well, they have a new boss now, but it's going to take at least a few years for Iger's projects to finish out or get.
right,
So, maybe in 2025 we'll actually get some good content.
keep the hope
Well,
alive.
yeah. Though I do admit I do like Amphibia and Big City Greens.
Nice,
Huh?
neat.
Though I will say the last episode of Amphibia was a bit cringy. Uh, let's
Oh,
just
I
say that,
love this. Oh, I remember this movie, The Color of Friendship.
yeah, I do too. Uh,
It wasn't really not that bad. It was actually a nice movie that they showcased. I loved it.
yeah, back in the day they could do good movies. Um,
Original movies, Disney's original. Remember Disney's original movies.
yeah, remember Xenon of the 21st century
I watched a lot of their original movies.
or Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off?
Mm, kinda. Can of Worms, Smart House, Genius. 13th Year is my favorite.
Yeah, and actually they made a joke about the Little Mermaid in that one.
Wish Upon a Star, Giant Tsunami. I didn't care for Johnny Capahala. I don't think any of these movies needed a sequel. But I give Xenon a pass because what was cool about Xenon was that the cast stayed consistent.
Yeah, and
It's,
there was
it's a sad that the third Halloweentown movie didn't feature all the casts.
yeah, and my brother actually got all of them from this year and has been watching them. And he's like, "Why didn't you like these?"
There was absolutely nothing wrong with Halloweentown.
Yeah, true. It's just minor
I don't
details that
know.
kind of annoyed me at the time. And we're not talking about High School Musical. No High School
Mm-mm.
Musical.
Or Cheetah
Or
Girls.
I will admit, Cheetah Girls was my guilty pleasure.
Cheetah Girls
The
is what
first,
made me stop watching decom movies.
mhm. And then there was also Camp Rock, which uh, I know it got a sequel, but it didn't seem that good to begin with.
Yep. Like right after Twitches and Cheetah Girls, I was like, I'm done. I am done.
Yeah.
So you ready to wrap it up?
Yeah. So thanks for watching. Jen, um, have a happy Halloween. Stay safe. And it's not just about some tricks or anything. Think, but I know where I am. There's a lot of deer right now, and
Oh, really?
yeah, I'm glad I'm off work tonight because past 2 days I've been seeing deer on the side of the road.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and one of my coworkers almost hit one the other day.
Yikes.
Yeah. But the good
All
news
right
is a
then.
lot of people are going to end up applying for a hunting license, so maybe they can thin the population down a little bit. You know?
Well, here's a good luck to them.
Hopefully. Um, but yeah,
Thin the herd out. I like the way you said that. So casual.
well, well, I think that if I figure it's better for them to have a quick death than suffer from being injured by being hit by a car.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, neither of them are that great, but you know, pick the lesser of two evils, in my opinion.
There you go. With that being
So,
said,
with that being said, have a happy Halloween, and next week I will finish up Wolf Ten Media's um I don't know, would you call it a beach house or would you call it a villa or what?
I guess we can sell for Villa, but you're still working on it. I thought you were done the
Yeah,
last time.
well, almost done. Done. There's one bathroom I want to redo, and because it's no longer Halloween, I'm going to have to redo the big area for entertaining. I am going to leave the werewolf sculpture up though,
Okay,
and I still got the landscaping.
cool.
Oh yeah, and I did give you a boat and a jet ski.
I'll have to take a look next time.
The stream is still up, so up if you want to watch that.
All right.
So until next time, guys, have a happy Halloween, and we'll see you next time. Say goodnight,
Happy
Wolfie.
Halloween. Good night.